Hello Tunesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Before I do some lacquer spraying of varnish on my 1 in 24 scale Ford 29 Roadster, I just thought I'd put these 6mm German AFVs up. So we have a Panther tank, side skirts. These are all the 2D6 ones I had a while ago. Finally got round to finishing them off. Well, still got to have a varnish on them, but lovely little models, I must admit, or models, whatever you want to call them. I say they're 6mm, and this is for my Normandy little project I've got going on. But then I can also use them for any Northwest Europe, really. I suppose Italy. But yeah, they don't have a huge range, but what I've seen of the Panthers and the Panzer IVs, they're really nice. We've got the infantry support version. Now with this guy here, I've put it like this is my attempt at doing like a cornfield or a hayfield that other vehicles or foot soldiers have pushed their way through and flattened it out. The little red dots are poppies. Just go with it. It seemed to appeal to me at the time. So these are poppies, just a bit of dirt there, but it's supposed to show, where vehicles have mashed it down. But again, really nice vehicles. I've always liked this version. It's stuffed up slightly, the crosses there. It goes over one of the pistol ports. I might, when I've got some money, won't be for probably a good few months, but on a whim I shall try and find some 6mm decals and apply those on the vehicles rather than just paint them on, because you can never get like the Panther, you can never get the numbers particularly great. So I'll paint them out and apply decals or whatever in the future. I think I just got the Panther. Yeah, the Panther's just going over some cobblestones. I've got the bits of shinier cobblestones where the tracks have been over. This guy I've put a bit of rubble on, just out of putty, bit of a mortar shell hole there. Again, Mark IV. Again, no numbers and stuff because I just find it too hard to do with a paintbrush, really. I've blacked out the supports for the shirts and side screens just to make them look, see-through, if that makes sense. But again, really nice vehicles, real sculpts even. This last guy, again, fairly plain base. I put a manhole cover in there, again showing where different vehicles have gone clattering over the cobbles. He's all the camo I've got is from different online sources like MiG and Ammo. People put the inside of the books up on if you go looking for them. So this was a version that somebody put up with two different types of camo. So the shirts and side screens have got a different camo onto the rest of the tank. I just thought that was interesting. So. But loads of detail on them. Obviously, as soon as you start applying camouflage, if you just put the Dunkelgelb on, you could probably really, with some shading and that, really pick out all the details. But once you start putting camo on, no matter what black lining, or I tend to use rubber black as a black lining, but you can only go so far before you start losing a lot of the details with the camo. I just wanted to do some simple bases as well. As I say, this guy was to see if it would work. I'm fairly happy with it. I know you can use bits of old doormat and stuff, but I just find this is just these pan scourers, and I just tease them out, flatten them very slightly so they're not so rigidly square when you cut them up. And I just thought they looked quite good as hay or corn, barley, whatever you want to call it. Put some red dots in because poppies often grow in that stuff. All around here they do, and I know they do in Normandy So I just thought that was a worth try, and I'm quite happy with it. So just a quick one. I know, really, Gav. No, you're going to hit us now with the extra half an hour. I'm not, I promise you. Just these four. I've got no others to do at the moment. I will be at some point sending off for some backers to try, just because I haven't got any. And I know what people have said. Some of my other stuff is probably not scaled. When I tried these on the old, I don't even know what I've got now. It wasn't Skytrex, was it? What was the other one? Heroics and Ross. These weren't that far. I mean, these are supposed to be scaled to the American one, GHQ, isn't it? And I haven't got any GHQ vehicles, but these weren't that far out from the old 1960s, 70s stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bacchus will look like. I'll just get a couple of test vehicles, British or German. But I was very impressed with these 2D6 Panthers. They really, as I say, lots of Christmas. You can have them with Zimmerit or not. I mean, the Zimmerit's just like, it's not obviously like proper waffle or anything like that, but it's enough, you know what I mean? And let's be fair, when it's actually down here, you're not really going to see it. Yeah, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. As I say, Germans, I need to probably get some type of mobile wagons, something like that. What I like about the German side of doing World War II armour is the Germans will obviously throw ad hoc Kampfgruppen together. We and the Americans and that, they'd have their combat commands, we'd have our different brigade systems and that. But we were a lot more rigid, really. I like to think, you would have a company of whatever tanks the British decided to field, Shermans, Churchills, whatever, or a platoon, and they would be helping a battalion or a company, whatever it was, Whereas the Germans, especially in that last 18 months of the war, they were constantly having, or 2 years of the war, they were having to literally throw battle groups, so Kampfgruppen, was it Kampfgruppen? Something like that, battle groups together, and they could literally have anything that whoever was in command of that particular area might say, oh well, we've got a company of Panthers over there, we'll detach 2 Panthers, we'll detach 3 or 4 Mark IVs from the same division or whatever, we'll throw in a mobile wagon, something like that, 3 or 4 half tracks, whatever they could scrape together for that particular battle group to achieve that particular task. So the good thing with the German ones are you really can throw together, a lot of stuff that might not normally be seen. I wouldn't say normally be seen together, but obviously a Panther company would normally fight as a Panther company, and until it obviously losses, and then maybe the last 2 Panthers might be put in with a load of Mark IVs, whatever, but you can literally have, and also like the sporting infantry might be Fallschirmjäger, so German paratroops, you might be paratroops rather than Panzer Grenadiers. It might not be Panzer Grenadiers, it could be Volks Grenadiers or just normal German infantry units, it's they are very good like that. But obviously I haven't got any really American stuff at the moment, because I wanted to concentrate on the British and the Germans, but I probably will at some stage get some American stuff. But I'd like to get enough infantry. I'm looking at it both ways. I'd like to get enough to make an infantry battalion up of British infantry, and then some form of like a tank company or something like that. And then all the different bits and pieces you can throw in just for fun. But I'd also like to do one of my battalions in my regiment, which at that time were the South and North Staffords. The South Staffords were 2nd Battalion, I believe, were Arnhem. They were glider infantry. That's what I'm trying to say. Now they didn't do the Normandy campaign. Because they'd landed in Sicily and they were kept back, and then they were put in at Arnhem. But I would like to obviously replicate them as a glider infantry for Arnhem later on, and then I can throw a few of these in there as enemies, you know, because again it was all ad hoc at Arnhem. So yeah, that's my ideas anyway. As I say, it's just, you know, all my projects, they just come in and out of vogue. They disappear for a bit, then they come back. So they're constantly being, you know, they're constantly being involved, and I will game these at some point. It's just when I've got enough and I decide to, because I always have to do both sides. Yeah, it'll be when it'll be. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle again, aren't I? So look after yourselves. I started work on the 15mm Flames of War Hornet stroke Rhino, or Hornice stroke Nashorn. I've done some drilling out. He drilled my fingers out at the same time, but that's another story. We've got our lids. These are very basic hatches. There's got to be obviously a little clasp to be added to it, and there is a like a handle on the other side, but you can't see that. In reality, these stuck up slightly more, but I kept catching them. They kept coming down, so I thought, oh, I'll stuff it. They can, you know, it'll be what it'll be. 2 figures will go in there. So yeah, he's getting sorted bit by bit. As I say, he's just going to stop on the side, and I'm just going to do bits on him. I've drilled out that, and I won't go into it. It's not that update, but there's some other bits I've done to him as well so far. So yeah, look after yourselves. What's coming up? I've completed the infantry side of the commission for the 15mm proxy Warlord Games Epic figures from Alternative Armies for the client. I've got 3 spare mounted figures he wanted me to paint up for the previous commission on those, so I will be varnishing and basing those over the next few days, so you get a video of those. Managed to sell my late war British only on 1 bid, which was a bit of a shame, but they still went for the basic price, so you know, can't complain. I can complain about the price eBay scalped me later on with, but let's not go into that, Gav. Let's let it go. But what I'm trying to say is, that will release funds for me to then buy another group. There'll be some British, I think, because I've already got spare British in the bags that I bought with those, so it would seem silly not to make another rifle section up of those. And I may either add a mortar British, or I might add a German mortar. I quite like the look of that one. It all comes down to being able to sell them at the end of the day afterwards, to buy fresh ones to enjoy painting. So anyway, waffle. And obviously I'll have an update on my 1 in 24 Roadster coming up as well. Look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.